there is a silence far more terrifying than a thunderclap, and it's the sound of Aphrodite smiling while she decides exactly how to destroy your life. Imagine a goddess who doesn't need to strike you with lightning or drag you to the underworld. She simply reaches into the clockwork of your heart and snaps the mainspring. We often think of the goddess of love as a soft, romantic figure of beauty and grace, but that is the most dangerous misconception in mythology. Aphrodite is a primordial force of absolute ego, and to reject her, to claim you are above desire, or to spurn the gifts of the flesh, is to commit a crime that the universe itself will rise up to punish. She doesn't just kill her enemies, she makes them obsess until they wish they were dead. She turns your own mind into a torture chamber, filling it with a hunger that can never be satisfied and a longing that burns hotter than Greek fire. Today, we are looking at the dark side of the rose. We are uncovering the cold-blooded vengeance of the woman born from sea foam and blood. This is the mystery of why the most beautiful face in the heavens is the last thing you ever want to see if you've dared to say no to the power of the heart.
Unveil the legends.
The first rule of surviving Olympus is simple: never claim to be pure. To Aphrodite, purity isn't a virtue, it's a challenge. Take the case of Hippolytus, a young prince who dedicated his life to the virgin goddess Artemis. He spent his days in the woods, hunting and praying, and he openly mocked the soft world of Aphrodite. He thought his bow and his chastity were a shield. He was wrong. Aphrodite didn't challenge him to a duel. She didn't send a monster to his gate. She did something far more out of the box. She cursed his own stepmother, Phaedra, to fall in a sickening, agonizing love with him. This is the psychological warfare of the goddess. She turned a family into a wreckage of forbidden desire. She watched from the clouds as Phaedra withered away, consumed by a passion she didn't want, until the secret exploded in a wave of false accusations and suicide notes. Because Hippolytus rejected the concept of love, Aphrodite ensured that love would be the very thing that tore his body apart, literally, as his horses dragged him to death across the rocks. She proved that you don't need a sword to execute a man. You just need to unleash a feeling that has no place to go. The mystery of her revenge lies in its poetic irony. She doesn't just punish, she matches. When the women of Lemnos neglected her shrines, she didn't burn their houses. She cursed them with a foul stench so powerful that their husbands fled to the arms of captive slaves. When the women, in a fit of jealous rage, murdered every man on the island, they realized too late that they were now queen of a graveyard. Aphrodite left them in a state of eternal, lonely longing. She stripped away the very thing they took for granted, the ability to be desired. Think about the anatomy of a curse from Aphrodite. It usually starts with a glitch in your perception. You begin to see beauty where there is only ruin. You begin to crave the one person who will destroy you. She is the mistress of the unrequited path. There is a reason why ancient sailors would tremble when they saw a calm, perfect sea. They knew that the same water that produced the goddess could also produce a mirror that showed you a life you could never have. Her revenge is a solo burn, a psychological erosion that leaves the victim a hollow shell, wandering the earth looking for a ghost. The most chilling example of her divine spite is the story of Psyche. Psyche's only crime was being too beautiful. people began to worship the girl instead of the goddess, calling her a new Aphrodite. For a goddess born from the mutilated remains of the Sky King, competition is a death sentence. Aphrodite didn't just want Psyche dead, she wanted her degraded. She sent her son, Eros, to scratch her with a golden arrow and make her fall in love with the most vile and wretched creature on earth. But when the plan backfired and Eros fell for the girl himself, Aphrodite's rage shifted into overdrive. She didn't just attack Psyche, she bureaucratized her suffering. She gave the girl impossible tasks, sorting a mountain of seeds, gathering the wool of golden sheep, and eventually descending into the underworld to steal a bowl of beauty from Persephone. This was Aphrodite at her most shadow self. She used the tasks to break Psyche's spirit, hoping the girl would die in the dark. The goddess of love is the only deity who can make self-improvement feel like a death row sentence. Why is she so petty? Why does the ruler of the heart care if a few mortals don't bow? Because Aphrodite is a self-sustaining energy. If the world stops desiring, the foam born begins to fade. Her revenge is a survival instinct. She has to remind the world that emotion is the gravity of the soul. If you try to escape that gravity, she will increase the pressure until your bones crack. She is the police officer of passion, and her jail is a life without connection. The mystery of her endgame is that she never forgets a face. You might think you've escaped her. You might live a long, cold, disciplined life. But Aphrodite is patient. She waits for the moment of your greatest vulnerability. A sunset, a song, a scent of myrrh. And then she strikes. She makes you realize in your final years all the heat you missed. That is her ultimate revenge, regret. It is a poison that no medicine can cure and no god can wash away. She ensures that those who rejected her die with the thirst of the desert in their hearts. As we look at the world today, we see the temples of Aphrodite have changed, but her tactics are the same. We are still a species driven by the cravings she invented. We still chase the perfect image and fear the empty bed. The mystery of her revenge is that it's often invisible. It's the what if that keeps you awake at 3:00 a.m. It's the one who got away because you were too proud to bend. The next time you feel a sting of jealousy or a wave of obsession that makes no sense, realize that you are standing in the shadow of the girdle. Don't fight the tide. Don't claim to be stronger than the sea foam. Aphrodite isn't looking for your respect. She's looking for your surrender. The rose has thorns for a reason, and the sea always finds a way to get back into the land. The goddess of love is watching, and she has plenty of apples left to throw. The revenge isn't a story from the past. It's the pulse in your neck right now.